Good morning, yogis. I hope you're hearing me okay. Let me just check and make sure that my microphone's coming in. Hello. Yes. So, it's been a while since we've been together, and I hope that you've been well and that you're staying safe. I am excited to start this first practice with the live stream and hope that it will work out okay. So let's take a seat. I think that you could position your yoga mat as we normally do in class so that your long side is facing toward me. I have mine turned so that I can demonstrate when I'm working against a sideways view, and so you can see what I'm doing. So to begin, let's start with our breath. Begin to deepen your breath. And we want to balance the breath as we deepen it. So to balance the breath, as you inhale slowly for 4 counts, and exhale slowly for 4 counts, and as you exhale, draw your navel in toward your spine. As we settle into our breath, begin to notice if you're feeling relaxed and whether you need to adjust your seat. Make any adjustments that you need. And take a moment to notice how your spine is positioned. Straighten the spine. And add a slight lift as if you're trying to extend the crown of your head toward the sky, but gently so that you don't tire yourself with this. And let's take a moment to just remember those around us in this time, to send healing into the world and into the environment. And in doing so, we heal ourselves as well. You can visualize people that you love in doing this, and send each one of them a thought of healing and love. And let's begin to move now, placing your arms at your sides and again straightening the spine as you draw the breath in, extend the arms up, and turn your gaze slightly upwards as you stretch up toward the sky. And as you exhale, lowering the arms, and at the same time lowering your chin toward your chest as you draw the navel in toward the spine. And let's continue. Breathing in deeply, lengthening and stretching, exhaling and lowering. One more cycle. Now, let's lift up the right arm and exhale, gently bending to the left. Feeling a nice release in the spine and noticing if you feel any tension or stiffness in your spine. Make the movements gentle as we go along. Don't overdo anything. Our practice is intended to heal us, not to injure us. Enjoy the sensation as you move from one side to the other. Now we'll prepare to twist, extending both arms up as you breathe in, and as you exhale, turn to your right And look over your shoulder as you wrap the arms around into your twist. Then facing the front as you draw the breath in. And let's turn to the left side. Continuing with this. Remembering that as we twist, we want the spine to be erect and straight. Let's extend the arms up and slowly lower your hands to the floor. We'll take a moment here, just very gently releasing. And as you hinge forward, try to turn your tail toward the wall that's behind you and draw your navel in firmly toward your spine. We'll continue with this balanced breath as we go on with our practice, keeping it just as we started, the 4 counts in, the 4 counts out. And as you repeat the cycle, notice if you're exhaling completely. If you're not, you can get a little bit more out with each exhale. The exhale is a kind of letting go. And we can let go all of our worries, those things that we're anxious about. Let's come back up. And now we'll be coming onto our hands and knees. I'll be turning so you can see me from the side, but you can continue facing as you are. Now let's come onto our hands and knees, centering on our mat, coming into a shape called 4 points. In this shape, our knees are under our hips and our hands are underneath our shoulders with the fingers spread wide. Draw the breath in deeply, and as you exhale, slowly move back into the child's pose, drawing your navel in firmly toward your spine and rising back up. This movement is called Chakravrikasana. And as you move through this cycle, move slowly, maybe slowing down another 10%, so that you can experience the movement itself. The movement is also part of the yoga. Noticing if you're moving smoothly, smooth out the movement, and align your movement with your breath as we've been practicing. On the next cycle, we'll come back into the child's pose and remain and just release and let go. Continue to firmly draw your navel in toward your spine. As you exhale, notice if you're slowly sinking toward your mat, releasing, letting the tension in the muscles release. And perhaps contemplating over what causes this tension in the muscles. Why does it go there? Some of it from our worries. And as we release the tension that we have in the body, we can feel more free to release our worries. Doesn't mean things will just go away, but only that we're not disturbed, so that we can remain peaceful. Let's rise up onto our hands and knees. Please step your right foot forward between your hands, and we come now into a low lunge. This is a variation with the left knee on the floor, and we'll stay for a moment here. As you draw the breath in, extend the crown of the head away from the body to lengthen your spine, and feel a release in the left hip area, releasing any tension in the hip flexors there. From here, feel your belly touching your right thigh. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, keep your waist or your belly pressed against your thigh as you move back, lifting the ball of the right foot off the floor, pressing it toward the wall forward, and just coming back until you feel a light release in the hurdler stretch and the hamstrings in the right leg. Let's move forward again, extending the crown of the head away, exhaling, and moving back gently. Let's take one more cycle. As we move into the hurdler shape, Stay for a moment. Be gentle with yourself. And as you exhale, draw the navel in firmly toward your spine and try to tilt your tail up. Just a small rotation in the pelvis, so it helps us to straighten the back. Let's come forward. Ground yourself. And as you breathe in, let's rise up. Let the arms float up, breathing into the chest. And as you exhale, lowering the fingertips to the floor. Repeat it again, rising up and exhaling. Rising up, and we'll stay for a moment here. A crescent lunge. Firmly draw your navel in towards your spine as you exhale. Let's lower the fingers down, and we'll be stepping the right foot back into the downward facing dog. The knees can be slightly bent so we can reach the bottom away toward the back wall and feel the spine lengthen. Continue to firmly draw your navel in towards your spine as you exhale. Make sure your fingers are spread wide. Firmly draw the navel in and reach your bottom away toward the back wall. Feeling the spine lengthen, a spinal extension in the downward facing dog. Let's lower once more onto our knees into the 4 points. And we'll step the left foot forward in between the hands to set ourselves up on the other side. Take a moment to stay. Again, extending the crown of the head away from the body as you inhale. And as you exhale, drawing the navel in towards your spine. Take a breath in, feeling your waist or your navel pressing against your thigh. Gently move back until you feel just a slight tug in the hamstrings of the left leg, coming forward as you breathe in, exhaling as you move back. Inhaling forward, exhale, moving back. We'll stay for a moment here, gently again. Smooth your breath out. Notice if you feel any trembling in your body as you remain still. We can contemplate on where the trembling comes from, and that as well is from, at least partially, from our worries. Smooth your breath out. And let go with each exhale. And notice if the trembling subsides a bit. Isn't that interesting? Let's come forward and prepare to rise up in the crescent lunge. Inhaling, floating the arms up, exhaling, and lowering down. Inhaling, up, exhaling, down. One more cycle. Stay for a moment. The eyes are open, gazing just away, as if you're looking out past the horizon. This is called the yogic gaze, or the drishti. Lowering the fingertips down. Let's step back once more into the downward facing dog. Again, set yourself up, reaching your bottom away toward the back wall. And let's begin to slowly pedal the heels, pressing one down toward the mat, and then the other. Moving slowly, without any force. Very good. Come to a stop. Extend the bottom away, lengthen the spine. And let's lower onto the knees. And we'll sit back once more into the child's pose, just for a moment. Notice if the child's pose feels deeper for you as we've come into it for the second time. Rising up onto the hands and knees, press back into the downward facing dog. And from here, we'll be stepping the right foot forward into our first low lunge. So set yourself up here. Try to straighten your left leg by lifting the thigh away from the floor. Again, as you breathe in, extend the crown of the head away from the body. And as you exhale, firmly draw your navel in towards your spine. From here, we're going to pivot the left foot so the heel comes to the floor, and we'll rise up. We're standing as if we're taking a big step forward. The left foot is slightly turned to the side, and the right foot is pointing straight ahead. Place your hands on your sides and arrange where your feet are touching the floor so that the plane of your pelvis is parallel with the direction that you're facing. So you're not turned sideways in any way. Square your hips. We'll take the right arm behind with the palm facing away. Lift the right shoulder up and roll it back. Feel the chest expand. The left arm extends up as we draw the breath in, and we'll prepare to fold into the pyramid shape. As you exhale, imagine you're trying to extend the crown of the head away, feeling the spine lengthen, and slowly, as you draw the navel in towards your spine, folding into pyramid shape, Parsvottanasana. We'll come up only halfway until the spine is parallel with the floor, and then as you exhale, fold once more into pyramid. To rise up, come up halfway as you did, and continue up. Let's repeat the cycle. Exhaling, again, lengthening the spine. Very important to create that spinal extension as we come into our folds. Let's come up halfway. Stay for a moment. Fold as you exhale. Rising up and continuing all the way up. Once more. On this cycle, we're going to come up halfway and remain still for a moment. Again, our eyes are open, gazing straight down toward the floor, but again, that yogic gaze, the drishti, the eyes open, as if we're looking past the horizon. Notice if you feel any trembling here, and use the smoothness of your breath to create stillness. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, fold once more, and we'll rise up. As we come up, extend both of your arms. This time we're going to fold into pyramid and remain. Extend away, lengthen the spine, lowering your fingertips to the floor. The right knee can be bent. Here we're looking to create a straight spine. Again, as we did in the down dog, drawing the navel in toward the spine and tilting the tail toward the sky. We're going to stay for a few breaths here. And what we want to do is simply relax. The Sanskrit word for relax or ease is sukham. So we need to relax and experience the release of tension here, primarily in the hamstrings of the right leg. As you breathe in, extend the crown of the head away from the body. And as you exhale, continue drawing your navel firmly in toward your spine, tilting the tail toward the sky. We'll be stepping back into the downward facing dog now, and stay for a moment here. We can take a moment to notice if we feel a difference between the right side and the left side of our body, being in an asymmetric shape. Perhaps there is a difference that we can feel. Notice where you feel it in your body. Now we'll step the left foot forward into the low lunge, and we'll be staying for a moment here. Try to lift the right thigh away from the floor, straightening the right leg. Pivoting the right foot to lower the heel to the floor, we rise up. just as we did before. And again, we need to position ourselves, squaring the hips as we did before, facing. So the plane of the hips, again, is facing the wall that we're looking towards. Let's take the left arm behind, palm facing away, lift the left shoulder up, roll it back. Feel the left side of the chest expanding. And as you draw the breath in, the right arm floats up. Let's again extend, lengthen the spine. Take your time as you fold into the pyramid shape. Let's rise up halfway. Stay for a moment. Exhale and fold. And then we rise all the way up. Notice as we move through this sequence, as we fold into the shape, a release in the backside of the body. And as we rise up, a kind of strengthening feeling, perhaps also beginning to feel a bit warmer in the body as we ignite the fire in our practice. On this cycle, as we did before, we'll rise up halfway and remain. Take a moment again to notice if you feel any trembling. Each moment, like the last, and like the next, as if it's timeless. Fold as you exhale. And as we rise up, we'll extend both arms, preparing to stay in the pyramid shape, slowly moving into the shape as you did before, into a state of ease, so you can let go with each exhale. Notice that the release that we feel in the body is aligned with the exhale, a kind of letting go. In this way, we say that the body and the mind and the breath are connected. The three aspects in the triple world. The seat of the spirit or soul, Atma Puri. Prepare to step back into your downward facing dog. Stay for a moment, reaching your bottom toward the back wall and lengthening the spine, continuing to firmly draw the navel in toward your spine as you exhale. Let's come forward into plank. This is our first plank. Let's stay for a moment here. Tuck your pelvis under. Bring your body into a straight line. If you find that you can't maintain it in this way, you can lower your knees to the floor into a half plank, or you can remain in the full plank. Kumbhakasana. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, we'll lower down. We're going to come into a shape called cobra. Before we start, reach your legs back one at a time and feel a kind of length in your body. Your hands are on your sides, either side of your chest, and we draw the elbows against the sides. Tuck your pelvis under and hold it there. And as you breathe in, rise up with the elbows bent and project the heart center forward as if you're trying to reach it toward the wall. Exhale as you lower. Here we're going to focus on the deep breath into the heart center, drawing the shoulder blades in toward each other behind to feel the chest expand. The cobra shape is a kind of what we call heart opener or back bend. With the pelvis tucked under and held in that way, we protect the lower back. We're not trying to work on bending the lower back so much. It does bend a bit, but the focus is in the thoracic spine. This is the part of your spine between your neck and your solar plexus, right where your heart center is. This is the part we want to expand. Let's rise up into the cobra. We'll stay for a few breaths. Be gentle with yourself. Breathing deeply. Lower yourself down. Come up onto your hands and knees, and we'll sit back once more into child's pose. Let yourself release. Again, notice if the child's pose feels deeper than before. We can begin to see the effect of our practice as we move along, looking to create or release stiffness in the body to create a sense of openness in the body. When we feel stiff, we feel as if we're trapped. The feeling is there. When we feel more open, we feel free. Liberation, freedom and liberation. Creating that sensation in the physical body, and then using it as a foundation to create a feeling of freedom and liberation in our minds, in our thoughts, and in our actions. Let's come up onto our hands and knees. From here, we're going to tuck the toes under. So tuck your toes under and walk your hands back towards your knees. See if you can rock your knees off the floor with your heels lifted as high as you can. Feel your waist against your thighs and reach your tail away to straighten the spine. Stay for a moment here. Then lower your heels down. As you lower them down, look at your feet, make sure they're parallel with each other, and squeeze your ankles toward each other. Bend your knees enough so you can feel your waist against your thighs. Draw your shoulders away from your ears and let yourself hang upside down for a moment. Here we're letting gravity release the spine simply by relaxing and creating space between the bones of the spine, the vertebrae, to release any compression in the soft tissues of the spine, the discs. It should feel good. We'll be coming into the chair shape. So to do that, bend your knees even more. Imagine you're trying to sit in a very low seat. And as you draw the breath in, rise into chair, Utkatasana. Exhale and fold with the knees bent. Rise into chair, Utkatasana. Exhale and fold. Rise into chair and stay. Firmly draw your navel in toward your spine. The action of drawing the navel in toward the spine is a bind or knot, bandha, called Uddiyana Bandha, the navel lock. And here we can also add the root lock. The root lock involves drawing the groin in toward the inside of your body, both of them working together. The navel drawing in and the groin drawing up. Let's rise all the way up. Lower your arms to your sides. And we stand now in mountain. The mountain, or Tadasana, is an active asana, an active shape. Open your palms by drawing your fingers back and feel your palms expand. Notice if you feel a connection between your palms and your heart center. Make sure your knees are not locked. Soften the knees, tuck the pelvis under, and press the back of your thighs toward the wall behind you. As you breathe in, extend the crown of your head up toward the sky. And as you exhale, firmly draw the navel in toward the spine. Let's take our arms and interlink the fingers behind. Lift the shoulders, Roll the chest open, standing as we were in the Tadasana, and expand the chest. Just as you felt in the Cobra, breathing deeply into the heart center. Release the fingers and then interlace them in front of you, turning the palms to face forward and straightening your arms. As you breathe in, let the arms float up. Either side of your ears. As you exhale, bring them in front of your heart. And let's repeat. On the next cycle, we'll just stay for a few breaths. Draw your shoulders down away from your ears and extend the crown of your head toward the sky. Feel a kind of lift engaging, the spine lengthening. Release your fingers and lower the arms down. Take a moment to notice how your shoulders feel. Maybe wiggle them around a little bit. Notice how they feel. From here, I'd like you to come into a straddle. You can do that facing me. Bring your legs wide apart. Wide apart, wide enough so that when you extend your arms out, with your fingers pointing down, that they are pointing toward your feet. This is a wide straddle. Look at your feet and make sure that they're parallel with each other. And we're going to fold forward in this straddle position. Take your hands behind your thighs. Soften your knees and slide them down the back of your legs to fold forward. Bringing your hands to the floor. Coming into the forward bend. And then as you breathe in, lift the chest, come up to your fingertips into a half bend. Exhale and fold forward as you draw the navel firmly in toward the spine. Inhale into half bend. Exhale and fold forward. We'll come into the half bend and stay for a moment. Then as you fold forward, bend your left knee as you straighten the right leg and bring your hands over toward the left ankle. Feel the inner thigh of the right leg releasing. And we'll move over to the other side, bending the right knee, straightening the left leg, and folding over here. Take a moment here. Release the inner thigh of the left leg. Let's move back to the center. Rise up into the half bend, and then extend your arms behind you, holding yourself here without the support of the arms. To rise up, we need to feel the heels against the floor, to push into the ground from the heels. As we come up, extend the arms up to the sky. Bring your palms together. Exhale, palms to the heart center. Very nice. We'll next be coming into a twist. From this position, extend your arms apart and bend your left knee. As you exhale, turn towards your left, bringing your right hand toward the floor and turning your gaze toward the sky. Rise back up as you breathe in. And we'll continue on the same side. 3 more cycles. Notice if you're moving slowly, gracefully, and smoothly, aligning the movement of your body with your breath. Let's take 1 more cycle. As we come up, we'll prepare for the other side. Bending your right knee, exhale as you turn to the right. And rise up as you breathe in. Notice that with each cycle, whether it feels easier to move into this asana, this twist, this shape, that's a variation of the revolved triangle. We work with this principle. We prepare ourselves to stay as we move in and out of the shape, feeling a sense of ease with each cycle. Let's rise up. Now we'll go back to the first side where we're going to remain. Bending the left knee slightly, turn into your twist. And as you breathe in, turn your head to look down at your big toe. As you exhale, turn your head to look up towards your thumb. Inhale, look down at your toe. Exhale, turn your head and look up. One more cycle. Now we'll remain. As you exhale, draw the navel in and twist it in the direction of your turn toward the sky. And as you breathe in, broaden your shoulders and extend the crown of the head away. Use the navel center to churn the navel center, twisting from the core of your body. Notice if you feel any trembling. Smooth your breath out so you can be still. Let's rise up. Lower your arms to your sides. Close your eyes and take a moment to notice how you feel. When you exhale, does it feel like you can let go more? Let's prepare for the other side. Extending the arms apart, bending the right knee, coming into the twist on this side. As you breathe in, turn your head and look down at your big toe. And as you exhale, turn your head to look up towards your thumb. Inhale, looking down. Exhale, and looking up. One more cycle. Now we'll stay, churning the navel center as we did before, as we exhale. And as we inhale, expanding into the shape. Ease, sukham. Relax. Stillness, the trembling. Smooth your breath out. Let it dissipate. Let's rise up. Again, lowering the arms, closing your eyes. Noticing sensation. Let's prepare to fold forward again, sliding the hands down the legs and folding forward just for a moment. Draw your shoulders away from your ears and turn your head side to side. You can remain as you are, or you can choose to bring your arms behind you to interlace your fingers. From here, let's come up halfway, straightening the spine. And as we did before, from the heels, pressing into the floor to rise up. Extend the arms up to the sky, palms together, exhale to the heart center. Let's turn or step toward the front of the mat with the feet parallel, hip distance apart. And we'll go through a sun salutation. Coming into your mountain pose, Tadasana, as you draw the breath in, extend the arms up. As we exhale, we'll soften the knees and slide the hands down the back of the legs. We're folding forward as we did before, but the legs now are closer together, squeezing your ankles toward each other and drawing your navel in toward your spine. Inhale into the half bend. Exhale and fold. To rise up, extend the arms behind. Come up halfway. Feel your heels against the ground and push from your heels to rise up, using the backside of the body to lift you up. Exhale, arms to your sides. Inhale, up. We'll be building with each cycle, sliding the hands down the legs to fold forward. Inhale into half bend, and as you exhale, step back into your downward facing dog. Come forward into plank as you breathe in, and as you exhale, lower to your mat. Pointing the toes, tucking the pelvis under, and rising into cobra as you breathe in. Exhale back into down dog, and we're going to stay here for a few breaths. Be still. You can also go into the child's pose if you prefer here. firmly drawing the navel in toward the spine. If you're in the child's pose, come back into down dog to prepare to rise up. Gazing between your hands as you draw the breath in, walk towards your hands. Feet parallel, hip distance apart, lifting the chest into half bend. Exhale, fold forward, and prepare to rise up as we just practiced. Lowering your arms to your sides, once more in mountain. Extend the arms up. Fold forward as you exhale. Rise into half bend, and we'll step back into down dog. From here, take your right leg and lift it. Straighten the leg and project your heel toward the back wall. The leg is just lifted the height of your hip so it's parallel with the ground. Feel your left heel lowering toward your mat. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, step between your hands into the low lunge. Prepare to rise up into the high lunge. Let's bring our palms together, and we'll come into a twist. Turning to your right, you can either place your elbow against your thigh, or you might want to bring your hand to the floor as you extend the other arm up. With the palms together, we call it a prayer twist. As you exhale, draw the navel in and twist it toward the sky. Turning back to the front, extend the arms up, back into the lunge. And as you exhale, lower the hands down and step back into down dog. Lift the left leg as you did before, extending the heel away. Look back at your foot and make sure that you have an internal rotation of the thigh so the toes are pointing toward the floor. Draw the breath in, and as you exhale, step between your hands, low lunge, rise into the high lunge. Bring your palms together and prepare to twist as you did before, either lowering your hand to the floor or crossing the elbow in the prayer twist. Prepare to rise up. And as you exhale, lower down, stepping back into down dog. Come forward into plank and lower to the mat, preparing for cobra. Rise into the cobra. Expand the chest. Exhale back into down dog. And we'll stay here for a few breaths. Or child's pose as you did before. If you're in child's pose, come back into down dog. Prepare to rise up. Gazing between your hands, walk towards your hands. Coming into the half bend, lifting the chest. Fold forward and rise up as we practiced. Lowering your arms to your sides. Tadasana. Extend the arms up and fold forward. In this series, we'll be coming into the Warrior One. Lift the chest into half bend and step back into down dog. Raise the right leg up. This time, bend the knee and try to reach it up toward the sky. Opening the hip, letting the left heel gently descend toward your mat. As you exhale, draw the knee into the chest, step between the hands. Pivot the left foot so the heel and the whole foot is flat on the floor, and we rise up into our Warrior One. As you draw the breath in, let the arms float up. As you exhale, straighten the leg and lower the arms. Inhale, Warrior One. Exhale as we move out. Inhale, Warrior One. Exhale, move out. Prepare to stay. Warrior One. Virabhadrasana One. Firmly draw your navel in toward your spine as you exhale. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, see if you can hover for a moment, reaching away and lengthening the spine. Lower the hands down and step back into down dog. Raise the left leg, bend the knee, and turn the knee upwards, opening the hip. Draw the knee into the chest and step between your hands into the low lunge. Pivot the right heel, rising into warrior one as you draw the breath in, lifting the arms. As you exhale, straighten the leg. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, move out. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, move out. Prepare to stay. Virabhadrasana 1. Take a breath in. As you exhale, see if you can linger for a moment. Lower the arms, step back into down dog. We'll next be coming into a shape called the four-limb stick, Chaturanga Dandasana. Come into your plank, or you can choose half plank. The Chaturanga Dandasana involves bending the elbows, but not coming to the floor. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, move forward as you bend your elbows, not beyond the 90-degree point. Then, as you breathe in, tuck the pelvis under, straighten the arms, lift the chest into upward-facing dog, and then move into downward-facing dog. Let's repeat into plank or half plank as you breathe in. Exhale into the four-limb stick, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale into upward-facing dog. Exhale into downward-facing dog. Once more. Plank, four-limb stick, up dog, and down dog. Stay for a moment here. Or choose child's pose. To rise up, if you're in child's pose, back to down dog. Gazing between your hands, walk towards your hands, lifting the chest into half bend. Exhale, fold forward. Rise all the way up. And lower your arms to your sides. In mountain, Tadasana. Notice how you feel. Here I'll face the front so you can see what we're doing. Bring your legs together. We're going to come into a standing side bend called Chandrasana, or the crescent moon. Squeeze your legs together, tuck the pelvis under. Raise your right arm up. And before we bend, establish the lift. Imagine you're extending the crown of the head toward the sky, lengthening your spine, and then begin to come towards your right and bend as you extend the crown of the head away. Think of the extension, extending the crown of the head away as what is most active, and let the side bend happen as a consequence to that extension. Firmly draw your navel in towards your spine as you exhale, squeezing your legs together. Let's come up. Lower your arm and notice if you feel a difference between the right side and the left side of your body. Maybe more expansion on the side that was facing up. Let's try the other side. First, up toward the sky, create the lift, extending the crown of the head toward the sky, and then beginning to bend as you extend. Again, the extension of the spine, the first primary aspect, and the side bend as a consequence to that extension. Let's rise up, lower your arms, and we'll step the feet apart a bit, standing in mountain. And we'll again notice how the body feels. Perhaps where we felt a difference of more expansion in one side compared to the other. Here it's more balanced, both sides. So we did a side bend standing up position. We're going to try it in the side plank. So let's turn, or I'll turn. You're already standing at the front of your mat in mountain. Extend the arms up as you draw the breath in. Exhale, soften your knees as you fold forward. Rise into your half bend and step back into down dog. I'm going to be turning toward my right so I can face you in this shape. And you can turn towards your right as well. First, come into the plank. To come into the side plank, we can either do this with the legs together and the knees off the floor, or you can choose to put your left knee on the floor to support yourself. As you turn to the right, extend the arm up. To come into the side bend, we reach the arm away and bend the body toward the sky. And as we exhale, straighten and bring your arm to your side. If your legs are stacked, it's basically the same thing. Inhale, bending, exhale, and straightening. Inhale, bending, exhale, and straighten. Extend the arm up and stay for a moment in the side plank. And let's come back into our down dog. I'm going to turn and face in the opposite direction so that I can face you when we're coming into our side plank. Come forward into your plank. And this time, either legs together or the right knee comes to the floor as you turn to your left. As you inhale, extend and bend the side body. Exhale, straighten, arm to your side, or with the legs extended. Let's take one more cycle. And then we'll extend the arms up and stay for a moment. And move back into your down dog. We'll next be coming into Warrior 2. So, lift the right leg up as you breathe in. And as you exhale, step between your hands into low lunge. Pivot the left foot so the heel comes to the floor and extend your left arm toward the front wall. Reach away and lengthen. And as you breathe in, let it swing up and back behind you. The arms extend apart, palms facing the sky. And as you exhale, draw the navel in and twist it toward the back wall. Lower your arm to your side and float the right arm up, extending the crown of the head away as we did in the side bend, and creating a side bend in this shape, often called hum or reverse warrior. And as you exhale, swing your arms over your head, lower your hands to the floor, and we'll step back into down dog. I'm going to change my direction so I can face you in the next Warrior 2. Raise the left leg up as you breathe in. Exhale, draw the knee into the chest, stepping between the hands, pivoting the right heel, extend the right arm forward, open as you did before. Warrior 2. In the Warrior 2, we want this spine to be vertical, just like a flagpole is vertical. And so adjust where your hips are and where your shoulders are so that the shoulders are directly above your hips, gazing toward the left palm or beyond it. And as you exhale, draw the navel in and twist it toward the back wall. Lower the arm, the right arm, and extend the left arm up into our reverse warrior. And as you exhale, swing the arms over the head. Lower the hands to the floor, stepping back into down dog. From here, we'll come into our child's pose and take a break. In these classes that I'll be teaching, we'll be slowly building up. Perhaps you have been like me, a little bit kind of paralyzed with being home and wondering what's going to happen, seeing in the news that things are expected to get a lot worse, feeling almost, I don't know if paralyzed is the right word, but unable. Perhaps you've already been practicing some of the practices that we've been offering on the Yogitan channel, the recorded practices with Tanya and Brenda and others, Sharon, Claire as well. And a meditation practice that I put up there in the Gong Shavasana. So we'll be building slowly and starting with the basics and maybe adding a little bit more things as we move along. Let's come up onto our hands and knees. We'll cross the ankles and come to a seat in the easy pose. The easy pose, Sukhasana, so Sukham means ease, Sukhasana. The feet are underneath the shins, and they offer some support, and we come into a straight spine. Take a moment to breathe deeply. We'll next be coming into a seated forward bend called Paschimottanasana. And this is very similar to the forward bend that we had standing up. But in the seated position, we have more restriction. And so it's very important, especially here, that we're being very careful with how we set ourselves up. It's important that we come into this shape, the Dandasana, the legs extended forward, with the spine straight. You may need to bend your knees so you can tilt your hips forward to straighten your spine. We're going to find the shape that we need to be in. So as you walk your fingers forward like you're walking the yellow pages, for some of us that remember yellow pages, we hinge forward, but we want to hinge in such a way that we can tilt the tail toward the back wall. And as if we're trying to extend the crown of the head away from the body as we did in some of our other shapes, creating that spinal extension. The knees should be bent so you can feel your waist against your thighs. So find that, and this brings us into the shape that we want to come into our seated forward bend, Paschimottanasana. So keeping your legs as they are, rise back up, and as you breathe in, extend the arms up toward the sky. At first, we're going to only come halfway. Create that spinal extension, and then gently fold as you did before. The hands might come down to the floor as you had them before. They might come onto your shins. Or if they happen to fall towards your feet, you can land them on your toes, but avoid pulling yourself. There should be no pulling here. The hands more or less pressing toward the floor to support you. Let's rise back up as we breathe in. Exhale. Lengthen the spine. Fold. Inhale. And rise up. And this time we'll prepare to stay. Again, be gentle with yourself. No pulling here. Think of turning your tail toward the back wall, drawing your navel firmly in toward your spine. As you breathe in, extend the crown of the head away from your body. Notice that there's some restriction in the breath here. The navel is restricted. It can't expand as much. And so we want to breathe into the upper back of the body, kind of like out into the sides, up into your shoulders, behind your shoulder blades. Stay for a moment. And let's rise up, lowering the hands to your sides and coming back into staff pose. From here, we're going to lean the hands back, lift the shoulders up and roll the chest open, and see if you can lift your bottom off the floor into a reverse plank, a counter pose to the seated forward bend we were just in. Lowering back down, we'll prepare to come into a twist now. Draw your left heel in, bending your knee and bringing it in so your leg is against your body. And then, again, straighten your spine. Make sure your spine is straight. When we come into our twists, we don't want to have a bent spine. We want to have that spinal extension as we've been practicing. The next step is to bring the foot and cross it across the leg. Here, you might find that your foot is not flat against the ground, and so you need to adjust yourself so the foot is flat against the ground and the spine is straight. The other leg can remain just as it is, but if you prefer, you can choose to bend your knee. Straighten your spine. Let's bring the left arm behind us, and as you breathe in, extend the right arm up. Stretch and lengthen, and as you exhale, you can either wrap the arm around the thigh as you turn, or you might choose to cross your elbow and turn to look over your shoulder. Again, avoid using your arms to crank you into the shape. Think of your arms as just being support, and use your navel center to create the twist. As you exhale, draw the navel in and twist it in the direction of your turn. And as you inhale, extend the crown of the head toward the sky. A seated twist. Let's unwind ourselves, and we'll extend the legs forward, coming back into our staff pose. Dandasana. And we'll proceed to the other side. Draw the heel in and straighten. Crossing the leg, place your foot against the floor. Notice if you'll stay as you are, or choose to go as you did before with the knee bent if that's what you did. Let's bring the right arm behind, and as you inhale, extend the left arm up. Lengthen and stretch the spine, and as you exhale, either wrapping the arm or crossing the elbow if you prefer, as you turn to look over your shoulder. As you breathe in, extend the crown of the head toward the sky. And as you exhale, draw the navel in and twist it in the direction of your turn. Again, the twist originating from that churning of the navel center, the core of the body creating that twist. And not cranking, not using the arms to crank. We can destabilize the spine if we try to force ourselves with the strength of our arms into this shape. Let's unwind, extend the legs forward, and from here, bend your knees and bring the soles of your feet touching. Wrap your fingers around your toes and straighten the spine. Don't worry about where your knees are, just let them relax. Focus more on the straight spine. This shape is called the seated bound angle, Bandha Konasana. We're coming toward the end of our seated portion of the practice. We'll come onto our backs and prepare for dynamic bridge. Lay back onto your back with the back of your head resting against the mat and your arms at your sides, palms on the floor. Draw your heels in towards your bottom and make sure your feet are parallel. To rise into the bridge, we'll be moving the arms as well. So as you breathe in, lift the hips up, and just like an arch, open the arms toward the sky and back behind you. And as you exhale, we're going to roll down the spine. Think of your vertebrae, the bones of your spine, like a rope that we want to roll down, one vertebra at a time. And let's repeat this, the dynamic bridge. We'll do this a few times before we come into the static bridge. Again, working with that principle of repeating the motion until we're ready to be still in it. One more cycle. Breathe deeply into the chest as you breathe in. Roll down the spine as you exhale. Now, with your heels drawn in and your arms at your side, lift up into the bridge shape and begin to externally rotate your arms. You can also choose to link your fingers underneath you, if that's available to you, and breathe into your heart center. Release your fingers and roll down the spine back onto the floor. Extend your legs out. Here, this is an active shape. The toes pointing to the sky, the heels flexed. We're going to come into a shape called half boat. And this can be done with either lifting one heel 3 inches off the floor, or you can choose to lift both. Once you have that, lift the shoulder blades as well and hold it for a moment. Breathing. The half boat is sometimes called stretch pose because it feels like you're lengthening your spine as you firmly draw the navel in. If you're using one leg, switch to the other so you can get the other side. Let's lower back down, resting your head back on your mat. Draw the right knee into your chest. And we'll come into a recline twist very easily, taking the knee and crossing it and turning to look over your shoulder. With each exhale, draw the navel in and twist it toward the sky. Let's unwind, and we'll switch sides, drawing the other knee into the chest, and slowly turn into the opposite direction. Let's come back. Now we'll hug both knees into the chest. This time I'd like you to tuck and try to touch your forehead toward your knees. Hold it for a moment. And release it. We'll stretch our legs out on the floor. Reach your arms over the head and stretch and lengthen the spine. Wiggle around a little bit. Tuck the pelvis under. Preparing for our Shavasana. When you feel ready, bring your arms to your sides and make yourself comfortable for the Shavasana. I'm going to keep us here for a few minutes so we can enjoy the Shavasana. So as you settle into it, notice if there's any adjustments that you need to make. Feeling comfortable. And we'll begin to deepen the breath. Notice as you breathe in, the navel rises. And as you exhale, the navel comes down. Notice in your body if you feel any tension anywhere. If you find somewhere, as you exhale, release it. Feel the ground under you. Let yourself just be supported by the ground. Bring your attention to your toes. And imagine your toes are floating, maybe in the water or just floating in the sky like clouds. Let them relax. And feel that release travel into your feet, into your arches, slowly moving in where your ankles are, heels and ankles. And from there, moving up your shins, up towards your knees. And from your knees, moving up your thighs towards your hips. Next, we'll bring our attention to our fingers. Imagine that your fingers are floating. Let them relax. And feel that relaxing sensation moving into your palms, into your thumbs. Into your wrists, letting go with each exhale. Traveling up the forearms to your elbows. Up the upper arms to your shoulders. Relaxing the shoulders. Arms and legs just sinking into the ground. Bring your attention into the bottom of your spine, your groin area. Let it release. And then bring it a little bit higher, just below your belly button. Below that place is your sacrum. Feel it resting against the ground. Coming up just above the belly button into your solar plexus. It's called the solar plexus. The solar, the sun, the fire, Manipura chakra. And just below there, below your belly button, is your lower back. And that should have a slight, just very slight natural lift from the floor there, a natural position for that part of the spine. We'll come to our heart center now. Relaxing your heart area, the heart center, letting it open. Imagine it's like a flower, maybe a rose that is unfolding and opening. And below that, the upper back, around where your shoulder blades are, feeling that resting against the ground, letting it sink into the ground, releasing any tension that you might have. We'll move up around the neck and around not just the front, but the throat, but around the sides where your shoulders are, relaxing. And as you breathe, imagine your throat is opening. The seed of truth. Feel it open. Let what you say be truth that speaks from your heart and from your navel center. Let's bring our attention around the jaw area, your lips and your tongue, relaxing the jaw, your cheeks, around your eyes relaxing in the eye sockets. Feel that release around your eyebrows, your temples, and back towards your ears relaxing. Moving toward the forehead. Relaxing the front of your forehead. Feeling the back of your head resting against the ground. And finally, the top of your head, the crown. And as you breathe in, imagine the air is coming in through the top of your head and moving down your body like a wave, down through the torso, down the legs, all the way down to the soles of your feet. And as you exhale, we're going to move it up the legs, up through the torso. And as if we're exhaling out the crown of the head, out into the infinity. And let's repeat this breathing cycle. I'd like you to count back from 54 with each cycle. And if you lose count, go back to 54 and start again. We're not necessarily going to be coming to 0 in this count, just to do this and keep our attention so we're not falling into a sleep. And in this way, being completely aware. As you breathe in, moving down the body to the soles of the feet. And as you exhale, moving back up and out the crown of the head. Let's take one more cycle, and we'll come to a stop and begin to wiggle your fingers and toes around. And then bring the soles of your feet together and your palms together and begin to rub them. Feel the sensation on your palms and on the soles of your feet, waking you up, stimulating. And then from here, we'll roll onto our side and take your time to rise back up. We're going to come back up and position ourselves just as we did at the start of the class. Here I'm sitting on a block, but you can sit on a pillow. The important thing is that your legs are relaxed and you have some support around your legs so they're not feeling like you're having to hold yourself up. Straighten the spine. And let's begin to deepen our breath as we did right at the start, breathing in for 4 and exhaling out for 4. Let yourself be completely still. The term sthiti, unsurpassed calmness. Notice if your mind, or we could call it your thoughts, are less active. If you feel more peaceful. Notice if you feel spaciousness in your body. Extending the crown of the head gently toward the sky. Your spine. Perhaps feeling more alive. Visualize the spine as if you have a thin silver thread from the groin up the spine, up into the head. This silver, bright, beautiful, shining. And then we'll lower the chin and Open the eyes up. Bring your palms together. And we'll finish with 3 Oms to end our practice. Let's take a deep breath in. Peace, peace, peace. Have a beautiful day. Thank you for practicing together. And Shanti, Namaste, peace, I bow to you. Hope to see you on Wednesday.